Hi everyone. We are almost getting ready to finish the question types. We only have two more question types left. The first one we're going to see is the summary question types. So far, all of the question types that we have seen are worth 1 point each, which means if you get it right, you have 1 point. If you get it wrong, you have 0. These question types worth more than that. Okay. It also means that you can get half a score, like a 1 point, just from getting 2 rights, 2 out of 3. But it also means that you should apply the same strategy as before, meaning better wrong than blank. So always provide an answer, even if it's a multiple. You have to provide multiple answers, like multiple alternatives. Always provide an answer. So you have to guess. Just don't leave it blank. Okay, I'm gonna focus on the summary question. What does this question look like? These questions look like this. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but you can read it if you want. Basically, you're gonna select 3 answers, of 6 alternatives or more. You're going to select 3 alternatives that are going to complete a summary. So you're going to complete the summary using 3 of the 6 options that they are providing. Okay, and this question is worth 2 points. So if you have the 3 correct, you're gonna be getting 2 points. If you have 2 correct, you're gonna have 1 point. And if you have only 1 correct, you're getting 0 points. And of course, if you have 0 correct, you're gonna have 0 points too. Remember, there are no marks against, so just guess. If you have 0 idea, just guess. Okay, what should we do? Here, there's a specific strategy that I advise you to follow. You will read the question, as we always do. You're going to get the main idea from each alternative. So before we go to the text, I want you to read the alternatives and get the ideas from the alternatives. We're then going to analyze the alternatives, still not going to the text, and we're going to analyze the alternative and analyze whether they're general or specific, especially if whether they're general or specific regarding each other. I'm going to explain this in a minute. Remember, we're going to scan, don't read when we go back to the text, and then we're going to eliminate the wrong choices. Now, the things that we shouldn't do, we're not going to assume, as we always don't assume, especially not here. We are not going to expect an alternative is going to completely include it in another, and we're not going to try to understand everything we read. Now, I'm going to explain point number 2. What do I mean that an alternative is not completely included in another? Remember before when I told you to analyze each specific answer and whether they are general specific? Well, sometimes you will have 2 alternatives and they will be seeming to provide almost the same information. Or one of them is going to seem to provide a lot of information, a lot more information than the other one. Basically, you want to get not confused with the use of words and see which one is the general and which one is the specific one. And you're going to see whether the information that one of them is providing, whether that information is included in another alternative. This is very important. Why? Because in the summary question, okay, we're going to focus on general versus specific. Okay, we want the general, we're going to eliminate the specific. So if one of the alternatives is too specific and is already included in the information that another one is providing, we're going to eliminate the specific one and we're going to remain with the general one. Okay, we want general alternatives. Okay, this is very important. Now, sometimes some people will tell you that a good strategy is to read the text and get the main idea from each of the paragraphs. That's completely fine. I don't advise you to do that from the very beginning. I advise you to do that if working with the alternatives is not like you're having problems with working with alternatives, or if you seem like that's not for you, or you're having, so basically you just have any kind of problems. Again, strategies vary. Most people follow just 2 or 3 strategies, because they are the main strategies. But if you have any problems with the specific strategies, you can totally switch. Okay, we're gonna practice now. I'm going to show you the text and the alternatives. Okay. We're going to practice with the alternatives first, okay, and then we're going to go to the text. Yeah, so this is actually what the question looks like. They will give you the alternatives, they will give you 3 spaces, and then you will have to choose the ones that complete the summary. I'm not going to make you read, okay, in this case. You can pause the video and read. You can pause the video right now and read. You can also pause the video right now and check the alternatives. But in this specific case, we're not going to do it like that because it's kind of a waste of time and it's not the strategy to follow. And what we're going to do is we're going to apply the strategy from scratch. So we're going to first look at the alternatives, okay, and see which ones are general and which ones are specific. I'm going to give you 1 full minute to analyze each strategy, sorry, each alternative, and see which ones are general and which ones are specific without looking at the text, just here themselves, okay? Go. Okay, you have 1 more full minute. Now, you may already have the ones that are general and the ones that are specific, but you still may not have the answers. So I want you to go to the text, okay? You can check the text. You can pause it right now. I'm not going to pause it because we're going to see the whole strategy. I'm going to pause it here. Now you can pause it here too and check with the ones that you have. Probably you eliminated a couple ones. Probably you haven't eliminated all of the wrong ones, but you probably have eliminated some to know which ones are the answer. Okay. We're going to go and solve it now. Okay, general versus specific. We're going to analyze alternative by alternative. So we're going to analyze A. Capital does not include the concept of money because money does not directly produce goods or services. So basically, what this alternative is giving us is giving us a negative concept, right? It's telling us what it doesn't include. And they're telling us why, but also telling us what it doesn't include, what capital doesn't include. Look at letter B, no economic resource is unlimited. They're giving us a characteristic of economic resource. C, the work done by a factory worker, an office worker, blah, 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 can all be considered labor. They're giving us example of what we consider to be labor. Okay, let's look at D. Again, we're focusing on what main information is each of the alternatives providing. Let's look at D. Entrepreneurs are vital to creation and management of economic resources. So they're telling us that the entrepreneurs are vital. E is giving us that one form of economic resource, like economic resources, property resources, and then they include land and capital. And then they're telling us, that include land and capital. And then they're giving us a definition of capital. And then we're looking at E that says another form of economic resource is human capital, which includes all labor except for entrepreneurial skills. Now, the thing that we're going to do now, we're going to analyze from the main ideas, we're going to analyze which ones are specific, which ones are general, and most importantly, which ones are already contained in another alternative. So when we look at alternative A, and alternative A, again, is giving us a definition of capital in a negative sense. It's telling us what capital does not include. We can find that there is another alternative that provides a definition of capital and also provides more information, which is E. E is giving us the definition of capital. Capital are tools used in production, and by doing this, they are accepting the money. Because if inside my definition I'm not mentioning money, I'm already giving you, or I'm going to tell you that money is not part of this. And they're giving us this, like this is A, and they're providing more information. They're providing that this land and this is a form of economic resource. So A is contained in E, which means E is more general than A. Now we're going to go to B. No economic resource is unlimited. And we're going to see, is this alternative contained in another one? And no, we don't have, or we cannot find another alternative that contains the information in B. So we're going to leave it there. Then we're going to go to C, the work done by a factory. So they're giving us examples of the work done by different people, and the information in C is actually contained in F. So we have human capital, which includes all labor. And when we divide this into factory worker, office worker, ballet dancer, etc., we're basically just giving examples of all labor. So again, C is the more specific one, F is the more general one. And then we're going to go to D. Entrepreneurs are vital to the creation and management of economic resources. Is this alternative contained in another one? Is not, so I'm going to leave it there. So now we're left with 4, B, D, E, and F. Okay, I have 4 general or seemingly general alternatives, but only have 3 answers. So we're going to go, now we can go to a text. Actually, we can even solve it without going to a text, because I'm talking about economic resources. I'm going to change the color so it's easier for you to spot it. Economic resources. I'm talking about form of economic resource. I'm talking another form of economic resource. And then D is just telling me that entrepreneurs are vital. Like, this is completely off topic. This is completely specific, unnecessarily specific. So this won't be my answer. Like, before going to a text, I can even get it that the answer is B, E, and F. I'm still going to go to the text, okay? I'm still going to go to a text to see what it talks about. So it talks about economic resources, production of goods, labor, land, capital. Again, labor again, economic resources again. And the only case in which they talk about entrepreneurs is here, entrepreneur skills, which is, just a parenthesis on the whole topic. So it's really not as important. It's really not general. So we can know that our answers are B, E, and F. Okay. Again, this is the question type that you can solve without checking at the text. You can totally check the text if you feel like it, and just to make sure that you have the right answer. But it's better to focus on general versus specific. Again, general versus specific in the context that you're working with. Okay, to practice on more, you're going to do exercise 8.1 from the Thompson book. Exercise 8.1 looks like this. You will have a very long passage. Then you will have your alternatives and the box in which you have to put the 3 alternatives. They also have a place for you to put notes. I don't advise you to put notes. If you feel like it, if you have the extra time, okay. But I actually advise you not to use this one, like not to take notes on the main topic. Okay, this is another strategy that I don't advise. Again, if you see like the strategy of general versus specific doesn't work for you, then go ahead and use the notes. But my advice for you is just try to just get it from the alternatives themselves, analyzing the alternatives. Okay, analyze the alternative. Like, maybe this is containing this, and this. You'll be left with 4, maybe 3 already, 3 or 4, and then go to a text and check. Another important thing, remember all the common mistakes, all the POE mistakes, wrong word, extreme word, wrong contradictory information, all of the same mistakes apply. They will always apply. It's just that we're not going to use them primarily to solve the question. Okay, that's it. So you can leave any questions in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe, and share this video with whomever you think may have a good use for this video or may need this video. See you in the next video. Bye.